Could Hey everybody, I know this is very short notice. Ooh, back that thing up. Put it way up here. How about that? That's good. That's good. About as good as it's gonna get. It is Vicki on a Monday morning, feeling all fine. I've been walking. My doctor's gonna be so happy, but boy, it takes time to walk 4,000 or 5,000 steps a day. I know that's not much, but it's better than nothing, which is where I was. So I'm holding this so I can kind of show you what I've been spending my time on. And it seems like you paint and then you have to reorganize, and you paint, you reorganize. You can see behind me right here, I found these over the, how do I get it up there? Oop, doop, 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 there. It won't move. How come? Okay. Alright. Anyway, there's 3 baskets. It's very well made, sturdy metal, and I got it at Sam's, and I think they were $19. So what I did, instead of having all of my acrylic paints in boxes separated by colors and values and stuff like that, on my shelves, I moved them here so that it freed up space over there for things that need to stand upright in my cubbies. So I've got that one, and I've got one here, and I've got one here, and here. Oh, that is that one. We can't count that again. So anyway, I have 3, and I have, this side is my Americana and other bottled paints, because I love Americana paints and deco art paint, and I am a helping artist, so I use their paints when I can, which is most of the time, because they've got paints in every level of what you're doing. And then over here, get it right. Oops, not the closet. Okay. I have tube acrylics and artist acrylics over here, and I have them by color. So red, orange, blue, and all, oh, I forgot. I don't like holding this. I forget what I'm doing. And whites and blacks. So I think I'll be able to use that better. And anyway, that's what I've been doing. And another thing that's really cool, let me take it off me. That's not really cool. But in order to clean up and reorganize, you have to make a mess. So those are all the empty boxes. Randy brought this home for me from people. We manage a group of duplexes, and people are always leaving stuff. So this is an I started to say over the shoulder boulder holder, but this is, it's been in here for 6 months or a year. It's a towel rack, and I finally figured out what I could do with it. So I saved empty bottles, plastic bottles, cut them off, cut holes in them, made little S-hooks, and all the tools that I had in, stay with me now, that long box with toilet paper holders. Whoop, sorry, seasick, made myself seasick, are now here. So I've got them in categories: silicone tools, big brushes, foam brushes, craft brushes, better craft brushes, sculpting tools, which I do use, water brushes, and other odds and ends of tools. I've still got more I can put up here. But anyway, this gets that off my desk, which was great while I had it, but this is better. Better. Okay, here we go. I have got to get this where I can work in here. Alright, down. I'm doing it. And baby boy doesn't like me being in here, so no, I don't want flashcards. Oh, that is just pitiful. BJ. Okay, why am I not showing up live on my YouTube? There it is. Okay, I've got my... Stop. You want to say hi to everybody? Come here. He doesn't want to say hi. I know he didn't. Come on. Come on. Yeah, come on, play. Play for me. Alright. I doubt if I've got any watchers yet because I'm so erratic. But, wait, there's one. Lisa Swank. Hey, Lisa. So glad you joined me. I'm just going to reacclimate myself today. Pull this up. Get the hot lamp away from it so it doesn't set my phone into rigor mortis. Alright. On Tuesdays, there is a Paint What You Like time with Shannon Green at Canvas Corp. And I started going about 4 months ago when I was all clear of all my surgery shit and Sailor. Started going A because I want to be around Shannon and I'm a groupie, and B so that I would start getting out and socializing a bit more. And it's a fun group. You just work on whatever you want to, and it's really a great deal. $5 and you get to use any of the supplies that Canvas Corp has. So that's a darn good deal. And then of course Shannon is always coming up with something. So last week we started, she said she was going to work on reverse collage. So the magazines I took to do it with were too good to mess with and cut up, so I found this one in my car and I thought, that's interesting, let's see what happens. So this is what happened. I'm reverse collaging around the artwork that's already there. This is an art magazine, it's just art. So that's what I started doing. A little bit of collage and some acrylic paint, you know the drill, whatever I could layer on there and make it look like, well, you know, make it look like. Listen to that baby. All 11 pounds of him howling like the hounds of the Baskervilles. I particularly like this page. Now, it's so subjective, this could be painted out. The metallic paint I was using isn't really designed for stenciling, but it's such a beautiful color I used it anyway, and it went with what was there. So, and I skipped the back sides of the pages so that I could work longer, didn't have to wait so long for it to dry. So there's that one, and this one just had one little picture. So this could just be whatever I want it to be. I could come back in, I could doodle, I could do whatever I wanted, but that's a nice background that sort of matches that picture. This one I particularly love. With a limited number of paint there, I matched the backgrounds as good as I could to this painting. This is in a museum, guys. I mean, come on. I could do that, she says, bat bat. But anyway, I like that one just the way it is. And then this one is one I had just started. So painted all around. Sometimes I put gesso down first and sometimes I don't. And I think I'm going to come back in here and get rid of this whole section, even though it is part of the original painting. But I know I've got to get rid of that. So that's all I'm going to do there. I don't know, I may work on that this afternoon and I may save it for tomorrow, but there's lots of potential. But you got to have a good book. Yeah, you got to have a good magazine with something that you like, and I do like art, so I have studied these books and read them over and over and over. I keep them in the car when I used to go to Sonic once a week, I'd keep them in the car, and I'd sit in the car and eat my Sonic Junior and small tots and look at art. Get all inspired and know that I've got the skill set to do a lot of this stuff if I would just knuckle down and do it. The knuckling down for me is the hard part. But it will be a year, September the 2nd, since I had my colon in a knot, and the second surgery to put it all back together was in January. That one damn near killed me. It took about 3 months for that one, and then I had this addled mental state, and I don't know where it came from, but I think I'm about past that. I'm walking, which I've never done. Look at some of these paintings. Okay, that's enough. So anyway, reverse collage. Thank you, Shannon. And I think y'all have seen this book. I don't think I've done anything new in it since my last video. These are when I was first trying to do mixed media, and yeah, I did okay, but it was hard. I was forced. I had to force it, which probably isn't a good thing, and I've really decided I'm not that, for me, I'm not that crazy about verbiage. Don't know why. And she's painted on. And she's painted. So I considered this just a practice zone. Yeah, I could do real paintings of these, but then you've got a storage problem, and you know, so I can practice in here to my heart's content. These are painted, and you know, you can do just fine by cutting a picture out of a magazine. This was when I was playing with the the calligraphy pen, I can't think of the name of it, Elegant Writer, and I was taking a little online class with Cece. That's just a junk page, and this is over the top, and this one I like because it tells a story. If you want to dance, you've got to pay the fiddler. And here's a fiddler. I think he's from one of my art books. And this is your typical, you think you're so vain kind of guys. And then I varnished it, and it makes it real shiny, but it doesn't stick. And I've decided that my favorite varnish right now is Deco Art's Soft Touch. I think that's what this is. It's more of a matte. There's a play page. I bought a spirograph last year at Target and was playing with it there, and I need to get it back out because I've been seeing some more playing. And here's something I think I did as a challenge, and it's got, this was the fuse tool, which is really a pretty cool tool. But again, you got to buy consumables with the papers, special papers. This is a print of one of my paintings, and it's kind of a dark page, but dark in tone, but it's okay. What is that? I have no idea. Something from somewhere in writing. And another junk page. And this is a test page. I just opened it up. Matte medium and Glimmer Mist dried. So that's Canvas Corp Glimmer Mist. This is Canvas Corp baseboard and glazing medium in soil. So I was playing with using acrylic mediums to make those paints permanent, and they work great. And I love the way you can get the texture. It's hard to get that sometimes in just acrylic. And I painted that one last week. And again, just I'm putting the mileage in. If I ever turned out one that was good enough, I could cut it out of here and mount it on a canvas. And I could paint my better faces and heads on Winsor Newton paper. It's specially treated paper. And then just attach it to the top here, store it in the book, and then it would be there. So that's that book. That's a little bit of show and tell that I just got started on again. And I think y'all have seen this one. This is part of the Canvas Corp Architectures line. And I love these printed aged papers. They look like they're coffee stained and wrinkled. And they make a great background for a real painting. So this I tried watercolor. And I say tried watercolor. Watercolor and I go back to my very first days of painting in 2002. And if you ever get to feeling cocky, go back to watercolor. This one is gouache. And I had some gouache from a friend of mine who closed her studio down when she went into a retirement home. So I have that, and then I picked these up on eBay at one point or another. Most of these are M-gram, and I bought 3 or 4 burnt siennas when I was doing a piece of artwork and didn't know. Didn't know. Randy just texted me. I told him I was filming. Can you tell he just put me off guard? Asked me a message. Well, I can't message you either, Goose, because I've got my phone. I guess I can message him on my watch. Anyway, some of these are getting dried up. I ordered 2 or 3 of these each color for a painting I was working on because I didn't have any idea how much it would take to do it. Obviously not that much. So anyway, some of these are drying up because I haven't used them. And if you will forgive me, I'm going to see if I can text him here on my watch. Hang on. I am filming. Beamer is howling, and I know my customers are my watchers are gonna love that. I sent you the pictures of Beamer's pills a week or 2 ago, so you've got it. I'll talk to you later. Is that just pitiful or what? Yeah, no, Lisa. And I do that too. This was I think my very first ever gouache painting. And I think I really like it because it's kind of a... BJ. That's enough. Listen to how well he minds. And just 10, 9, 8. Anyway. I realized that it works a little bit like oil, but since it's water-based, you can always reconstitute it. And I really like the way that it is opaque like oil. So anyway, there's that. This one's colored pencil, and I did it with my cheapo colored pencils that I've bought from Crayola and Clickables and, you know, all of those. And they're great, but this paper has no tooth at all. And I was real lucky to get what I was able to get there. This is colored pencil, and talk about boring to do. And I'm not real happy with that, but for what it is, it's fun. Now that one I like. This one is gouache. I love the satiny finish of it. And there's a rose, and that one too is in gouache. Roses are my nemesis for some reason. It looks kind of dirty in there, but anyway, that's all. I was just seeing what kind of medium work on this book, and this little book is stitched and has quite a few pages in it. I think it retails $6, $7 on the Canvas Corp store. So there's that I've been doing. And well, you've seen the one that I've been doing. Okay. get all that stuff out of the way. This is a painting that I did for someone who loves water lilies, and this is a concept painting. I filmed a lot of the front of it and then forgot and didn't film the rest of it. The story here is that water lilies have their roots oh shoot, it's not a water lily, it's the lotus. Lotus stands up, water lilies sit down in the water, but their root system just goes everywhere. And I wanted to symbolize that while this is the shape of female uterus, yes, that's a word you can say on TV, that this represents to me the feminine, and as she gives of herself, she's nourished back up to her soul. And because it is a concept piece, I was able to justify putting things face forward instead of making them lay down like realism. And the mountains and the sky simulate wide-ranging, whatever you want to simulate. I mean, this is one where everybody that looks at it will see something different, and that's what I like to do. I did this on 300-pound arches, and I love the way it, this is Daniel Smith Moon Globe, several Daniel Smith colors, and then you lift them back up and the grain of the paper holds on to some of those. It just gives it texture, and I think that's really cool. And the gold leaf. So anyway, then I looked at it out in the sun, and this yellow for the glow is way too bright, so I want to come back in here, and because it's gouache I can do this, or watercolor and gouache I should say. I can just get it wet. See how much I picked up just with that. And I can pick up some of the yellow. So paintings, real paintings, especially stuff that you think you're going to sell or may sell, it's good to let them sit and then look at them a couple months later or a couple weeks later. See, I'm picking up quite a bit of that yellow. I just wanted it to be a glow, because the sun is coming up behind this. That's where all the light color is. And if this were an oil painting, I would just come back in and go over it with a glaze of white or whatever was appropriate. So you're never really locked in. With watercolor you are to a certain extent, but some of this in the background is gouache. And if you don't like that, fix it, go on and do something else. Get it until you like it. This is a concept that I've had in my mind for a long time, but when I first thought of it, I didn't have the skills to pull it off in any form. And because it's 300-pound paper, it's almost indestructible. And Lisa just told me that you can fix the gouache that are dried up. The ones I had, I didn't have a full color range. I mean, I could make do, but what I do colors like in oil, I work with what's called a split primary palette, and I will have a warm and a cool of each red. So I'll have two reds, a warm and a cool. One warm would be like a cadmium red, and a cool would be like an alizarin or a carmine. And with those two colors I don't need any other reds, because they'll do just about everything I need. And then I do yellows. I'll do the same thing. I'll do a warm and a cool yellow. So a cool yellow would be something like a lemon yellow, and a warm yellow would be something like a cadmium yellow medium, almost to the orangey state. And with those reds and those yellows, I can make an orange real easy with just mixing two colors. And then blues, again, I use a warm blue and a cool blue. Warm blue is ultramarine, and I know I always hate that because I think, ooh, it's purpley, but purple is on the warmer scale, warmer side of the color wheel. And something like cerulean, a lot of people use phthalo blue, but it is so strong that you got to be real careful if you're going to use that. Anyway, two blues, no greens, because I can mix all the green I want with those yellows. Sometimes in oil I'll add black, because black and yellow, especially yellow ochre, which I don't have any earth colors on my palette, on my permanent palette. And then I might add a rose color or a quinacridone color. See, that's already less obtrusive with the yellow. Can you see that? Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. I'm looking in the screen. So if I think this is too dull back here, I can come back in with some white and do another real thin wash. I don't want anything to stand out. I just want it to glow like the sun is coming up. Okay, so there's that. Where are we? Palette knife goes away. So back to the gouache. Because I didn't have the color assortment, oh, and always white. You got to have a lot of white for oil painting, and for wash, a lot of white. Watercolor, not so much, but every professional watercolorist I've ever seen always has a tube of Chinese white or white gouache in their kit. So what I did, I'd heard so much about, God, is it Schminke? Did I do Schminke or did I do Sennelier? I think I did Schminke gouache. There are 49 pairs of scissors in the studio. Could I find one? No, because I've got everything torn up. And I should have a knife. Ooh, there's a good one. It's sticking straight up. Nope. That's a pencil. I think that's a pokey tool. Alright, now this is getting ridiculous. I always try to use them and put them right back. Here's one of these kind of knifeys. These knives are the scalpel ones by Pen Blade, size 10, and they're great, but I always close them. Where's the button to close them? That is. I always close them too easy. But they really are designed for disposable scalpels in operating rooms. Because we don't want the surgeons messing up their hands. Schminke! Bubble wrap in the floor. Douse out that brush a little bit. I dream for the perfect studio where everything is at arm's reach and in its place. Let's see what I did. Now I said those colors, those 6 colors are my permanent palette. I may add colors to that from time to time. going to pull all those out, throw the boxes in the floor. If you put them in the floor, you have to pick them up because you can't get out of the room if you don't. I found the best price on these from Jackson's Art Supply in British. Okay, let's see what I got here. I got Carmine, which is a cool red. Cad red hue, which is a cadmium, and a hue means it doesn't have real cadmium in it. It may also, hues usually mean they don't have as much pigment in them, but we'll see. And then I got my lemon yellow I told you about. Indian yellow, I don't know why I did that. Maybe because they didn't have anything else, but it will suit. Pull this back. What is this? Vermilion. Vermilion's also, it's kind of in between those two, and I really could have done without that. Helio blue, and a turquoise, and a pink. This one is purple magenta, so that belongs over here. Burnt sienna is an earth tone, which is fine. Delft blue. What? Loaded up on these. Wait a minute. I do this all the damn time. I got two of the same one. Well, no I didn't. Vermilion, and they just look like the same. Vermilion and cad red. I know what I was doing. I was not repeating what I have over here. So cobalt blue is a good cool blue. I have a hooker's green, but like I said, you don't really need to use it. I have a permanent green light, which is a great color if you're painting skins. Let's see what else is in here. I have a naphthol red. I didn't shop too wisely, did I? I have an ultramarine blue. I have an alizarin crimson, which is cool red. I have an ivory black. I have a yellow ochre. Both of those are earth tones. And like I said, I don't use those in my oil painting because I can mix them so easy, and they have more life to them when you mix them yourself. So that's what I was thinking. I've pretty much got my basic palette with several extras, extra colors like this turquoise. So there you go. That's what that is. And I've been using this little plastic palette. Works great. Has a lid. Gouache dries. You wet it back up and you keep going. So there's that. I might work with that here in a minute. And I got a big tube of white, because you do go through a lot of white. But I really do like gouache. So I'm kind of surprised. Close that up. Put that over here. So I was watching Barb Owens Friday, and somebody in her group had gotten something that she found that was new, and they're called Quick Sticks. These are a solid tempera paint, and I got them from Office Supply. I know it doesn't sound like they'd have art supplies, but they had the best prices, and some of this was on special. I'm gonna have to raid hubby's room for some cigar boxes. Oh, hello. I love it when that happens. And usually when something falls in the floor in my room, it's gone forever. Missing one. See? Anybody want a Tic Tac? I just found it in my apron. Where did they go? See, I told you. They're gone. Hello? I swear. See, there's one missing. Maybe did it go under here? Nope, there's a straw under there. Okay. Oh, wait, there it is. Ta-da. I got the 12-piece classic colors. This is neon, and this is metallic. Now, tempera. Do it again. Let's do it again. Tempera is the poor man's gouache. So I probably wouldn't use these in a painting that I was thinking, you know, a standalone painting, but I would use them in journaling. So let's see what they do. I think there's room in here for maybe one more tube of paint in this studio. Maybe. Let me make sure y'all can see. Uh-oh. Video is spinning. I don't think y'all can hear me. Everything's fine up here. Lisa, are you still here? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I sound like a Sprint commercial. So that means it went dead before I opened all these up. Okay. Come on, internet. I'm going to close this out and start again.